we survey on an ongoing basis for industrials, for other sectors, and I've never seen that type of bullishness come back. In the absence of growth, people are diving into tech, and that's what we're seeing.
Does that make you nervous that nobody out there is a bear? You've got 71% of the buy side, 81% of the sell side expect results to be in line or better than expected.
I always get a little bit nervous about the headiness of that response in the market, but I will say that, on a relative basis, we're not seeing a lot of growth otherwise. And these companies are starting to get smart. What have been the headlines? It's all been about cost cutting, right? They're cost cutting, which is what the more mature companies, the industrials, are doing in terms of growing earnings.
A stock that I think has the potential to have a sizable move next week is Amazon. So from an options perspective, it's pricing in around a 10% move. Compared to the last 8 quarters, that's probably in line. Compared to the last 4 quarters, the average move's been around 11.5. So it's slightly less than what we've seen over the last 4 quarters. And obviously, this 10% implied move can be up or down. And there's not a real pound the table sentiment, bullish or bearish, within the options. The sentiment is just that Amazon shares have the potential to move at least 10% by next week's earnings report. One other point I would just throw out there as we're talking about the comparison to Google, obviously part of the optimism in Google shares price return today is the fact that they cut costs or they have lower OPEX. If you look at Amazon, again, I don't cover it fundamentally. I couldn't say what the likelihood is that they would announce any sort of cost-cutting measures, but I have to imagine if they did something similar to what Google did, you could see your similar type of size move that you're seeing in Google today.
It's too low now. I never thought I'd live as a central banker to see us complaining about low inflation, but here we are complaining about low inflation with reason, and we need to get it up to around 2%, and if it ever goes above, we need to keep it there.
I think it's performing well, Tyler. Actually, I'd say very well. You can see that best in the job market. I think that's the best barometer of what's going on. We're creating a boatload of jobs, 200 to 250,000 per month. And just for context, that's double the rate we need to absorb the growth in the working age population. So at this pace, we're working down the unemployed and underemployed, and we will be back to full employment by this time next year. So, you're right. There's a lot of cross currents in the data. There always are. But when you add it all up, I think the economy is performing very well.